fight man in boxing, led the Flair Cops. Shout out to Goodfellas Sports TV. Woo!
All right, man. So let's talk about Devin Haney continues to make the news. Continues to make the news. It says that they're saying Bill was on somebody's channel and he admitted that they turned down the Teofimo Lopez fight, and he said the reason they turned it down is because to make back ends the threshold was $100K, which I think historically for most fighters on the pay-per-view, to start to make back end money, I want to think it's $250,000. You got to sell $250,000 or 200,000 pay-per-views. I think Canelo may be the only fighter on a consistent basis that I think he got to sell 100 or 150K to start seeing the pay-per-view profit. So to me, 100K ain't a lot, but you got to understand, Teofimo ain't no draw, and Devin really ain't no draw. So it's when you talk about being a draw, it don't have nothing to do with skill set. Bernard Hopkins was one of the more skilled fighters in the world, but he wasn't a draw. A lot of his popularity came from fighting smaller fighters and more popular fighters, De La Hoya, Trinidad, guys like that. Believe it or not, even at one point, Kelly Pavlik was a draw in Atlantic City. So a lot of his shit came from fighting guys with more notoriety. You know what I mean? So that is what it is. But yeah, Devin really ain't no draw, and Tank is. And that's not all the credit to Mayweather. Tank. You look at the guys that was a draw. Mayweather made himself into a draw by talking shit. So he had the charisma, he had the mouthpiece to do so, and also the brilliance of Al Heyman to put him on 24/7. See, somebody could put you in a position to do that, but you have to execute. And you see All Access, nobody executed on All Access. None of these dudes was engaging enough. None of these dudes had the gift of gab, the mouthpiece. None of them had that. Floyd was gifted enough to execute on that. Because you start looking at other countries like Mexico, Puerto Rico, the UK, they support their fighters. Japan, China. But you got to understand, this is kind of why you see that whole Fat Joe debate on delineating from the community, or to get mad at FBAs or Foundational Black Americans delineated, because we're not part of American society unless we have success, or we bring in a gold medal, or we have some type of success. We're pretty much seen as people unwanted guests, and that's why a lot of these fighters don't get the bagging from the American public, and they'll bag a guy like Conor McGregor, and even when Mayweather was coming up, it was a lot of hate. Really, a lot of people don't know this. The original Golden Boy was Sugar Ray Leonard. Everybody loves Sugar Ray Leonard, but that's an anomaly more than the trend. He's an anomaly to the rule more than the trend. So that's a huge thing too. But Tank is anytime you fit the stereotype of anything, especially in the black culture, black community, people gonna like you. He comes off as a little thug, the tattoos and hood gangster, and that's how they really all want to see us. And that's why he's so easy to sell, is because not only does he have the support of his community, he's seen as the epitome of a black man. That's what they think a black man is. And I always say women move the culture in the black community. They move the culture. Think about it. You get interested in girls, it start changing how you dress. It start changing your approach. Why? To get the girl. And yeah, girls start changing what they do and walking and how they wearing stuff. And when they trying to get guys, but it's more of the natural law of female and male nature that men, gravitate towards women. And Tank is what outside of the dimensions of him being short, he's what, most of the women in our community, and even outside of our community, go for. So he's an easy sell. He's a stereotypical nigga. That's what it is. When you start talking about Devin Haney, he had 2 parents. His dad was in the game. Why didn't he follow his footsteps and be a street nigga? And his uncles and shit. And, I know the story, but his father did what any other father would do. I remember I watched 24/7 in Mayweather with De La Hoya, right? And De La Hoya was in this ring with his son sparring, and he said, "I do this so he ain't gotta do this shit." That's what you do it for your kids for. You do it, and I take one step further. You do it for your kids so they can have the option to do what they want to do. So Bill did what any good father do, but you know what? A lot of these males and females never had a father. So it's a trigger alert when your father is with you all the time as a black person, and y'all working as a tandem. And if you people remember, Bill even stepped down because he was listening to the internet. His son said, "No, man, I need you there." He said, "I'm just gonna be the manager." He get a trainer. He was either willing to put his ego aside, unlike some other trainers or other fathers. He was even willing to put his ego aside. He wasn't willing to say, "Okay, I'm just going to ask for help. You know what? I'm going to let somebody else handle it. I'm going to oversee the business side of things." And I think that's honorable. And like I said, I spoke to Bill on many occasions. Real dude, solid dude. I respect that. I respect it. Real solid dude. But, like I continue to say, that's why he don't sell. Teofimo don't sell because if he was really a Mexican, he probably would sell very, very well. He probably would sell very, very well. But we know the game. We know the game. So yeah, it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate, but being able to draw, you don't really have a lot of skills to be able to draw in boxing. You got to have some skills. Remember, Zeus Simmons was one of the biggest stars, and he was one of the biggest stars in China. 2 gold medalists, but he couldn't fight worth a damn. He couldn't fight worth a damn. So, yeah, you could be a star, but you got to still have a skill set. So, but nonetheless, yeah, they both don't sell. That means, you got to step up the marketing. You got to talk some shit. Play the heel. Or like Bernard, just keep knocking motherfuckers off. I don't know why people buy pickup trucks. That's my thing. I don't understand why people buy pickup trucks and choose to double park. Like, they buy pickup trucks and can't even drive. That's one of my pet peeves. You buying a pickup truck and can't even fucking drive, which is nasty work. And like I said, if you ever drove trucks, and if you ever drove trucks, this motherfucker double parking too. That's one of the things I like living out in the suburbs. It's cool, peaceful and shit. As long as the pigs don't mess with you and shit like that. But man, these motherfuckers can't park. They can't drive. That's one thing I hated. And I just think, other than the crime and the thievery, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't understand why their insurance is cheaper. Look at that motherfuckers can't drive. But on a serious note, But yeah, on a serious note, yeah, 100,000 should be obtainable, to be honest. You should do 100,000 easily. They starting to crack down on some streaming shit, but you can't crack down on it all. They just gonna make another one. So 100,000 should be, easy, but, them offering to fight, Ryan Garcia, it was 55-45. And he also said in another interview, I did a video on Marcos Villegas, that they wanted Teo to be the A side. So, 55-45 split according to Teo on his favor. Like, niggas like laughed at that. So, I don't understand why Turkey Al-Sheikh don't get involved. Now, apparently Devin said ask Turkey Al-Sheikh, because Turkey was in on a particular offer. So, who knows, man? I don't really care at this point. I think Teo's in a fantastic fight versus Bril Matias. I hear the brother Devin Haney is fighting, what's the guy's name? He's fighting at the Oracle in Oakland, where Andre Ward fought at, where the Warriors used to play at. Yeah, the Oracle's still up. They ain't got no In and Out. They ain't got no A's, the athletic A's. They don't have no Warriors no more. They don't have no Oakland Raiders no more. But they don't have In and Out Burger, but they still got the Oracle. So, but outside of that, man, so they don't really make no difference. I think 100,000 is very obtainable for them. But T.O. don't sell, and Devin sell tickets but don't sell pay-per-views, and one of the reasons that is that he don't talk a lot. Also, he's not the stereotypical nigga from the hood, so that's hard for people to get behind. People look at him as a Cosby kid, which you think black people should celebrate and pedestalize, the proper traditional structure, but that triggers a lot of people when you have both parents, you have a father in your life. When we live in a community that's the only community that say they don't need men, or not to just say they don't need men, because I see Becky saying that all the time, but actually executes their plan. Their words match their actions. They don't need men. They don't want tradition. That's one thing I do like about Anton Daniels when he talk about the family structure and he ain't buffooning and raccooning. When he talks about the family structure, like, he's right. The culture is trash. The culture is trash. It really is, because we got women celebrating and wanting to be single mothers by choice. See, the lady that double parked that truck was an old Asian lady. Should be driving like a Suzuki or something. No disrespect. But, yeah. They put, we don't need no man. I don't need no man. I could do it by myself. And when you live in that society and you see somebody that was raised by both parents, his father was active in his life, that triggers a lot of people. That creates disdain because they didn't have that, or they chose their parents, or they chose not to have that, and it's triggering. It triggers hate. Oh, I didn't have a father, and I didn't. Oh, my bad, I shouldn't. They know they ran my baby daddy and my husband away, and ain't gonna see them 40, 45 years old dealing with their trauma in therapy or on the internet. But it's easy when Mayweather was clean cut, nice, even though he was doing his dirt on the strip. He was, I ain't giving no excuse. He was young. And if you don't know no better and you surviving on your own in Vegas, you gonna make mistakes. Niggas don't know Mayweather track record on the outside the ring is ridiculous. But when you young, you reckless with money. Like, nobody teach you how to do this, man. You learning on the way. So his whole issue with women and that shit, it's the dude we talked about. And I did a reaction video. It'll be up on Friday, on New Year's Eve, 7:00. I put it up for it, where a dude talked about how we talked about this on the live stream on December 30th, Wednesday, or Tuesday. Was it Monday? And the man said that he walked in, his wife was sleeping with her boss, and he crashed out. Wife tried to break it up, got hit, put a PPO. That's the whole story. That story I'm going to be talking about on the Free Game 89 channel. Links in the description. Threw his life away for what? Like, most dudes are not taught to be emotionally intelligent or emotionally controlled. You usually get that from a father. So when people see Devin, they triggered by that. So, yeah, I'll be telling y'all, man, like, a lot of people, they automatically, oh, no, I ain't had that. Fuck that nigga. I grew up like Tank, foster kid, no parent, got it out the mud, and it's a badge of honor. And it's not. Nigga, we already went past go 4 times. and you ain't even got off go, and that's why you mad. So thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the link tree. You can find the Patreon, Free Game 89 channel. Want to reach out, X, Instagram, Spotify, Anchor, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, Amazon Music, Kick, Twitch, the whole 9 piece.